All right, we are all the way live. Hello and welcome to my graveyard. I am your host of the evening, the Cemetery Man from Salem, Mass. Always taking names and kicking candy ass. Live and living clear here on YouTube. I'm gonna put some streams and links and all these stuff up to like Facebook and um, Instagram, all that stuff. So I'll make sure to share this. This is a little impromptu episode of the Graveyard. I didn't know whether or not I wanted to do this. Um, but I figured, you know what, there's one more day in the year, one more day of the decade. And I figured, why the hell not go all out with this and do one more video discussing some of the horror films that, not the ones that I loved. I've done a video on that actually, the last couple videos, my top 10 horror movies of the decade. I counted down my faves. I figured today I'd do the top 10, not the top 10 worst, but the top 10 that disappointed me most. And I figured, I made a little list here, and I was like, why the hell not, do this? I thought this would be a really, really fun little stream to discuss. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna probably link the stuff to Facebook and stuff like that, so if people want to join in live. Oh yeah, the horror boys here. That graveyard's open. Oh, how do I showed it last time. Ah, the graveyard is open, my friends. Everyone is welcome inside the graveyard, man. Just sharing this right now to Facebook to see if anybody wants to join in live. Other than Nate, because Nate's one of the best people of all time. Yo, and shout out to Nate because Nate got a new gig, and I'm really proud of him, man. Nate is kicking ass and taking names. Um, Very, very proud of the horror boy. It's my guy. And Devin's here, my good buddy Devin. What's up, Devin? How are you, brother? And I'm just sharing this right now to Facebook. I swear I'll get into the movies. Um, oh man, we got this. We are Litsky. Deb's here. Nate's here. It's frozen. I'm frozen. Uh oh. Am I back now? Oh shit, I froze? This isn't good. Let's hope it's not my shit. Let's hope it's Nate's computer. Let's hope it's Nate's computer. Okay, so I'm just gonna text a couple people, say if they want to join. Uh my good buddy Ryan. Let's see if Ryan wants to join. I could invite him to watch and like that. Okay. All right, I think we're all set here. Okay, Nate says I'm back. That's good news. Very good news. I'm gonna throw my phone in the charger, and then we're gonna talk all things horror of 2010 to 2019. All right, that's in there. All right, let's get going here. All right, so I comprised of a list here. These were the movies that I don't think these movies were all necessarily bad, but at the same time, I think these are the ones that really let me down the most. Ones that I was either anticipating these movies, or thought that they had more promise, or they had a concept that I felt that they didn't fully reach the potential of. So, that's the thing with me. Like there's some of these I am disappointed with them for different reasons. So, I'm gonna go ahead and discuss these movies that I wrote down on a list. I'm doing good, Nate. Thank you for asking. It's been a really cool day, really cool year, and I figured I was like, yo, impromptu graveyard show to end it all. I thought that would be really fun. And Ty Junebug Films taking a shit right now. That's great. That's great to know. I'm very happy. By the way, Ty Junebug, I watched your Star Wars review. It was very good. Um, okay, so I'm gonna get into this list though. These are the top 10 most disappointing horror films of the decade, in my opinion. So don't attack me, ladies and gentlemen, because right off the bat we've got a controversial one that almost everybody likes. And I will say on this list, it probably is the best movie overall out of these 10. That's why it's so low, I guess. But I'm going to have to say, coming in at number 10 is Get Out, directed by Jordan Peele, written and directed by Jordan Peele. All right, so I'll be honest. I saw the trailer to this movie and I thought nothing of it. I kind of thought, all right, this is weird. But I thought at the same time, what really excited me was that somebody from the comedy world in Jordan Peele was going to attempt to do a horror film. I went to see it and I thought it was okay. I thought it was like an average horror film. I was like, okay, that's really cool that he got to do his own original concept. He's not remaking anything. I thought that was a really cool thing for him to try. However, where this movie doesn't connect with me was all the praise it got from the Academy. It was nominated for Best Picture. The lead actor, Daniel Kaluuya, he was nominated for Best Leading Actor. Like, it just blows my mind. And I believe the movie won Best Original Screenplay from Jordan Peele. I mean, okay, like if you love the movie that much, that is so cool. Like I'm cool with that. But like I just don't get that at all. Like, I honestly don't understand why the movie got that much praise. It boggles my mind because the Academy is usually very against horror, right? Like, the last horror movie to get its due on the big stage was The Exorcist. The Exorcist won 2 Oscars in 1973. And then you move all the way forward to Get Out. You have very few horror movies in between that were honored with big awards. I know Silence of the Lambs won Best Picture. I know that. I know some don't consider that a horror film. Some say psychological thriller. I think it's a little bit of both. I can understand that. But I don't know, man. For all the movies to go gaga over, for all the movies to honor at the Academy, this one really like it annoys me that a movie like Get Out didn't I mean not Get Out, that It Follows didn't get the praise this movie got, didn't get Oscar nominations like this movie got. It boggles my mind that Cabin in the Woods didn't get any, recognition. And I don't know, I guess I saw that this movie got the attention from the mainstream audience and the Oscars, and I just wondered why so many other better horror movies didn't get that attention. I think maybe it's a scenario that of some of the subject matter. It has to deal with a lot of race issues and stuff like that. Maybe that is why it got the mainstream attention that it got. And I do think they tackled that stuff well, but I don't know if that necessarily makes it a Academy Award winning horror film. Like, I don't know, I just felt like there were so many better choices. Like, I think The Conjuring would have been a better Best Picture nomination. That was a creepy horror film, very well acted, much better directed. I think okay, you could say that the Get Out was a little bit more original, but I don't know. At the end of the day, I would have liked to have seen some other films, maybe The Witch, maybe The Lighthouse, maybe some other different horror films get some recognition that this one did. And we will see Mr. Jordan Peele later on this list. I do warn you that Jordan Peele has the tendency to piss my ass off. Okay, we'll get to some of these comments. Thank you. Nice to know somebody likes it. I had some trolls on that review. I just told him that I love them and thank you for your words, dude. Anytime. I thought it was a really good review. I enjoyed that you weren't a complete mark about it. Like you remind me of Nate's reviews. Nate's reviews are always very, mild mannered and even tempered. I appreciate that. I appreciate you not just going, "This sucks," or "This is the greatest." Like, I appreciate the people that are honest about it. So I appreciate that, man. I thought it was a good review. Get Out. Yep, that's what I'm doing. Didn't even like Get Out or Us. I think Jordan Peterson overrated. Jordan Peterson, yeah, Jordan Peterson sucks. So does Jordan Peele, in my opinion. You trust me, you'll be very happy. I have his other movie on this list. I thought Get Out was okay. So did I, Devin. I just didn't think it was Oscar worthy film. Hi, how are you doing today? I am doing good, Movie Guy 2005. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. That's really cool. Get Out was good, but I can agree it's a little overrated. Yeah, I think it was just a little bit overrated. Not a horrible film, not a film that I'm angry about, or I think whatever. I just it is what it is, kind of, at the end of the day. I just think it's a little bit overrated. I think it's a letdown because of it's not an Academy Award winning horror film, in my opinion. Like, I could just think of many more movies that I think that would have been much more deserving to be honored at the Oscars. But with that said, we're going to move on to number 9. And coming at number 9, this one is a true turd. This one, I don't even know if any of you guys have seen it that are in the chat currently right now. It is Dracula 3D, directed by, yes, I hate to do this. I hate to do this. Directed by Dario Argento, one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. This movie is horrible though, and I was excited just because his name was on it, and holy shit, I was in for a really rude awakening. If you don't know, I'm a huge Dario Argento fan. I mean, Suspiria, Inferno, Tenebrae, Deep Red, Phenomena. opera, some of my favorite horror movies, and my favorite movies of all time. Other movies that should have been nominated at the Oscars. Like it boggles my mind how Deep Red didn't get any, admiration or whatever. But it is what it is, man. This movie, though, I could never have prepared myself for how fucking bad it was. It's basically Argento's take on the Dracula folklore in 3D. Rucker Hauer shows up in this film. Asia Argento shows up in this film. And to say it is beyond low standard for Dario Argento, I mean, it is just such a piece of crap, man. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. It's just so brutally poorly made by my favorite, one of my, probably my second favorite horror film director of all time in Argento. I mean, it was just really a letdown to see him stoop to a level this low. And to this day, it's his last movie he's ever done. I know they're trying to get a movie done called The Sandman. Argento's making a film called The Sandman right now. At least that is the rumor. I hope it's nothing like this. I hope he gets money. Like, because if he can't get the money or the actors or the serious tone that he used to have in his films, I would drop it. I really would drop it and retire because, like, I'm one of the few people I defended Mother of Tears. I thought Mother of Tears was a great return to form, and I thought Dario Argento still had a lot left in the tank at that point. But man, Dracula 3D, it just sucks on every fucking level, man. It's just such a bad film. Watch the trailer, you can tell it's bad. I just heard that Argento, Dracula, 3D, Rucker Hauer, Asia Argento. I just heard all these things and was like, holy shit, I'm excited. And when I bought the movie, I remember being really, really disappointed. I actually sold it back to the store I bought it from. So I was just like, fuck, man, like this is as bad as it fucking gets, man. And I was really, really upset to see Argento go to that level because he's one of my favorites of all time. And I was really, really, really bummed that movie, it really disappointed me. So going back into, let's see, I think we were here. I want to try to come off as Stuckman and Rambo in my reviews. No, I don't like Stuckman, but he's popular because he seems like a nice guy. Yeah, nice guys finished first on YouTube. At least I hope so. Never saw the Get Out movie. You're not missing much, brother. It's not Academy Award worthy. Don't worry about it. What movie do I hate the most? Creepshow 3 is probably the one I hate the most. American Psycho 2 is a piece of shit. Um, hmm. That's a good question. I'm trying to think of other ones that I just fucking hourly hate. Those are the two that come to mind. Maybe some more will come to mind. Gotta love cool. Yeah. Get Out was better than Us. I agree. Us sucked, and that's on this list. I promise. Uh, Argento, you blew it. You fucking blew it. You took Dracula and you blew it. Horrible, horrible. Honestly, think I got the praise because Jordan Peele is black in Hollywood. Yeah, I definitely think that's the Academy. The way the Academy works, man. It's if you talk about racial issues, you're automatically going to get some Oscar consideration. I just think, like, as a horror fan, I've seen a lot better horror movies. It doesn't matter. Like, to me, the subject you're tackling is one thing. How you tackle it is the more important thing. That's just my opinion, though. I know people love it, and if you love it, that's fine. It's not that horrible of a film. Favorite Argento film? It's tough, man. It goes back and forth between Deep Red or Suspiria. If I watch Suspiria, I'll tell you Suspiria by far. And then if I watch Deep Red, I'll be like, man, that Deep Red movie, it's kind of perfect. So it's either one of those two. And I will say, I think the most underrated Argento film is Phenomena. I think Phenomena is phenomenal. Pun intended. I love that movie. I think Phenomena is a masterpiece, and I love Jennifer Connelly in it, man. I think it's a really, really good flick. I haven't seen this movie, and I don't think I want to. No, you don't. Trust me. No, you don't. Like, I'd recommend watching any other Dracula adaptation. That includes like Dracula 2000 and Dracula 3000. Those movies are way better. Even how they're made are better, which is sad. I like Dracula. Yeah, it can be considered so bad it's good. I think I just went into it the wrong mentality. I went into it with, Argento rules, and then I was disappointed. So that's why it makes this list. If I went into it seeing the trailer beforehand, I probably would have been like, okay, this is so bad, it's kind of entertaining. But I went into it thinking it was going to be good. So you got to understand that I was just like, holy shit, man, this is bad. Like, oh my God, man, that was a very big surprise to me. So that's Dracula 3D at number 9. Coming in at number 8 is the end of a trilogy here. This was the end of a trilogy that I thought had some promise to it, and I thought could have kept going until this piece of shit came out. It is VHS Viral, ladies and gentlemen. Holy fucking shit. Coming off the high of the first VHS, I will admit there are some segments in that movie that don't make sense from a narrative standpoint. However, I think that movie was able to capture a very good atmosphere, a very creepy tone, and it was a very good idea for a found footage anthology movie. Like that was an awesome concept. And I think what they did in part 2, VHS 2, is they ran with the concept. I thought VHS 2 was a sequel that kind of surpassed the original because they took the concept, they kept some of the creep factor and made the stories make a little bit more sense. Like who could ever forget that Indonesian cult segment where it's time and all this shit just starts hitting the fan. That's one of the greatest horror movie segments of this decade. Like I wanted to put it in my top 10, but I felt, if that's just one part of a really, it's a good movie, but I felt that part alone deserved to make a top 10 list just because of how well it was done. I believe the guys that did The Raid also directed that. And I loved VHS Part Two. I thought it was a really good movie, a really good sequel. And then VHS Viral comes out, and I'm like, they've got a chance right here to make a really memorable horror trilogy. And they've got the chance to really, move us ahead with a trilogy that I can be like, best trilogies of this decade. This would be one of them. Unfortunately, though, VHS Viral is a piece of shit, man, and that's putting it nicely. It's basically I saw this movie the day it came out. I paid like $10 to watch it on VOD, and I got really pissed because it was like not even an 80-minute long movie. I believe it was like 70 something minutes, and it's all bad, man. It's basically the wraparound story is this dumbass kid following an ice cream truck on his bicycle and trying to get inside. And then you get three shitty stories. I thought all three of them were pretty bad. One is about a magician who finds this cape that can eat people and give him powers. I shit you not. And that one, like, people for some reason like that. I don't know why. Like, it just boggles my fucking brain. I don't understand why people like that segment. It was so stupid. I wanted to fast forward it. Then probably the only one with any promise was the second story where it's like alternate universe, alternate dimension, where this guy makes a portal to another dimension and he meets himself from another dimension. And basically the biggest difference between him and the normal or him and the weird dimension is they have like mutated fucking private parts. Like he has a mutant dick and she has a mutant vagina and she eats him with it. And like I was just like, what the fuck? Like it might have worked if it wasn't found footage, that segment. Like it might have been better if it wasn't found footage. Like I was watching it and I was like, what the fuck is the point of this? And it was so awkwardly shot. Like it was almost like he was just holding the camera on his chest, walking through this house looking for this bitch with a mutant vagina. And I was like, yo, Helen Lauder did it better in Bad Biology, personally. That's what I thought. But I didn't like that segment. And then the final segment is just so stupid. It's like these bunch of fucking skateboarders fighting these random fucking sand cult people. And like that's it. Like there's no reason, there's no build up to it. It's just a fucking brawl in a skate park on a shaky cam, and you can't tell what the hell's going on. And then the movie ends where you have these people on the ice cream truck and they send out a transmission to the world, and these videos are going to infect the world. And I fucking like to say I was disappointed would be an understatement because I really enjoyed the first two. Like, okay, the first one has its problems, but I enjoyed it from an atmospheric standpoint. Part two, I thought fixed everything and honestly improved. And then part three just shit the bed entirely. Like, I don't understand why they went this route with it. You could have easily kept doing the same fucking thing over and over with we break into a house, we watch haunted tapes. Like you could have kept doing that forever and it never would have gotten boring or tired or anything. But instead, they decided to go this route, and I think they kind of jumbled the entire series and crippled any chance for making more than just three. And I think really ruins that series and trilogy as a whole. I don't really like VHS Viral. I thought it was a real disappointing film. and there really isn't much positive I could take from it. I thought it was a pretty bad film overall. Didn't like it. I thought it was pretty stupid. Okay, back to comments. LO, I didn't see VHS Viral because I heard it was horrendous. VHS 2 was great. VHS, I remember being decent. I agree completely. VHS is decent. Probably a little bit, I'd say, maybe, even closer to like a 6 or a 7 out of 10 for me. And the VHS 2, I thought was like 8.5, 9 out of 10. And then VHS Viral is just like completely shit the bed. It's like, it's in the 3, probably less than a 3 range. It's a piece of shit movie. I really did not like it. Of course, maybe I'm just being biased because I like Dracula 3D because Asia Argento's in it. Dude, we all love Asia. That's nothing to be, biased about. We all love Aja. Sand people are we in Star Wars now. Dude, I don't know. It was a weird fucking segment. Like there were just these random cult people that attacked these fucking skateboarding kids for no reason. I swear, if you can watch it and make sense out of it, I would love someone to explain it to me. Sounds like the Creepshow 3 of the VHS series. Even this movie's better than Creepshow 3 though, because at least it. Wow, I don't know how to defend VHS Viral. At least it looks like a film, I guess. I don't know. I mean, even at times it looks like a shitty film. I don't know. VHS Viral sucks, but I hate Creepshow 3 more. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Honestly, think that VHS Viral, uh, they were smoking the wrong stuff. Yes, they were. They were smoking the wrong stuff. I agree with that. Okay. Movie guy's talking to Junebug. You can watch the best of you. Oh, okay. He's talking to him. Okay. We got this. Okay. So, yes, that's VHS Viral at number 3, at number 8, not number 3. Jesus, I'm jumping the list. I'm VHS 3 at number 8, right? Jumbling this list here. But yeah, I didn't like that film. That was a big letdown. Here's another controversial one. I know that some people really like this film. I actually know a few people that think this is the best one of that series, and it blows my mind. But it is Insidious Chapter 2. Yes, directed by James Wan. I didn't think James Wan could possibly make this fucking list because, in my opinion, he's my favorite horror filmmaker of the decade and probably of the millennium. I love James Wan's films. I mean, you're talking about Saw, you're talking about Dead Silence, Death Sentence, Insidious, The Conjuring 2. But unfortunately, you have to throw this movie in here because it's just such a letdown after the first film. I really am not a big fan of Insidious Chapter 2. Basically, I remember seeing this one in the theater, and the first movie, I had a blast seeing the first movie in the theater. I thought it was fucking amazing. Like, I thought it was a really, really amazing movie because it was scary. It was a fun haunted house movie. It was kind of a throwback to why I love haunted house movies, right? And it's not the house that's haunted, it's your son, kind of some possession in there and cool looking demons and good scare sequences. And I thought the first Insidious was an awesome, awesome horror flick. But then you get into this movie, and basically what they try to do, they try to explain everything. They go to the let's explain everything route. And they explain that the demon that was attacking Patrick Wilson's character in the first film is actually a man dressed in drag, and his mother was running the hospital ward that person died in. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And then for some reason, all these people, ghosts, are in the further, and like they're all just talking for a good portion of the film. And I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Like, I just don't understand why the hell that happened because it just blows my mind, man. I'm just like, what is the point of this? Like, why explain everything that did not need to be explained? It was scary because we didn't fucking understand or know this thing's origin. It was a fucking scary demon. That's all we need to know. I didn't need to know that his mother ran the hospital that she stayed in, and it was really a fucking man dressed in drag and not a fucking woman. And I don't. It's a absolute just. I don't like how much they explain. Where the points of the film I do like are the scare sequences. I do think that James Wan does do a decent job directing. However, I think they really shot these movies back to back with this and The Conjuring because The Conjuring came out in August of 2013. This came out in September of 2013. So back-to-back months, James Wan had a film release, and I believe they shot The Conjuring first. So he might have been a little bit horror movie burnt out at that point, and that's probably why there's a lot more exposition in Insidious Chapter 2 as opposed to the great creepy scare suite sequences that we get in the original film. I don't like Insidious Chapter 2. I think it's kind of a mess from a story arc standpoint, and I think that as a whole, I think it's the weakest one of the series. And I know a lot of people go, "You like Insidious 3 or Insidious the something. Was it the final chapter? Insidious, the final chapter, or the last key? I think it was Insidious, the last key, or something like that. It was a weird title for the fourth film. But yeah, I like those movies a little bit better because at least they focused more upon the scare sequences as opposed to exposition. Like I know part three is technically at the end of the day, it's like a prequel, but I don't know. I didn't dislike that film. I thought the characters were good. I thought they got the series back on track. And then with part four, I thought it was really cool to see Lynn Shay get the shot at being the lead of a film. I thought it was really good. I thought she did a really good job. So I would say Insidious Chapter 2 is definitely my biggest letdown of that series and one of my biggest letdowns of the decade. So number 7 to be specific. All right. Let's see. Would you rather get stabbed in the leg once or watch Creepshow 3 40 straight times? Wow, that's a good question, Devin. I don't know, man. I would. That's. I don't know. This is tough to think about. I I guess I'd be stabbed. I don't know. That's what I'll go with. Have you seen Cities Chapter 3 and The Last Key? Yes, Movie Guide 2005. I saw them both, and I thought they were both pretty decent improvements. Maybe not as well directed, but at least they did not fucking emphasize what everything meant in the previous two films. Like part 3 is kind of an origin story for the Lynn Shay and Leigh Whannell, and those characters, how they all met and they dealt with the thing. We've yet to get that direct sequel to Insidious 2. It sets it up for a direct sequel at the end of Chapter 2, and we never got that movie because Insidious Chapter 2 was a mess. I think it really hurt the series, so that's why they went backwards with these two prequels, and I thought the two prequels were pretty good. You forgot how to count. Oh, thanks, Ty Junebug. You're a real sweetheart. Would you rather get stabbed in the leg once or watch Creepshow 3? Oh, I'd go with the leg, brother. What would you think about a 7-2 Jason Voorhees in part 13? Yeah, I know you asked me this one before. I mean, go for it, man. I hope they make a Friday 13th part 13. I think that'd be pretty cool. Never seen chapter 2 or 3 or 4. LOL, the first one was great. I highly recommend 3 and 4. I would even skip part 2. I don't think part 2 is that worthy of a sequel. I think it's kind of a letdown for me. I don't really like Insidious chapter 2. Didn't like it at all. All right, so moving on. Back to Jordan Peele. Back to Jordan Peele bashing. It is 2019's Us. I'll be honest with you. I fucking had hope for this movie for some reason, and I thought when I saw the trailer, okay, Jordan Peele is definitely, he's going to step up. The sophomore effort's going to be a lot better than Get Out, and maybe I can jump on the bandwagon and get with the hype that Jordan Peele brings with him, right? I thought that was what was going to happen. But unfortunately, that is not what happened with this movie. Unfortunately, I hated it even more than I expected, and I thought that I was going to like it. So what really sucked about this movie is I had a lot of mixed emotions going in. And I went out kind of thinking this movie sucked. And I'll be honest, I had a hard time getting through this movie. Nate can attest to this. I was talking to Nate while I was watching it, and I was like, I might turn this off. Like, I can't watch this fucking movie. And I ended up breaking up into 2 different nights. Like, I couldn't sit through it. I thought it was so terribly done. It basically tells the story of this family, and they're at their vacation home or whatever. And for some reason or another, they run into their doppelgangers, and their doppelgangers are evil, and they make these weird sounds to them and break into their home. And there's a lot of racial commentary in there. And there's a lot of us versus us, and we are our own worst enemy and all this stuff. And like, I don't know, man, I've seen it tackled in so many films so much better. And it's a ripoff. Actually, he's admitted it's a ripoff of an old school Twilight Zone episode called Mirror Image with Vera Miles. And I thought that episode was fantastic. And it's like she's in a bus terminal and she thinks she sees her doppelganger. And it's very, very well done. I love that episode. I think that's a really, really well directed episode. But the problem with this movie is it's just too, I think for one thing, it's too long. For another, it's the comedy and some of the shit he's trying to say just absolutely bored me to tears. I was like, man, like I don't give a shit about what he thinks about the world. Like, I just want a good, decent horror film. That's what I was looking for here. And I will admit, the only thing positive I can say about this movie is the opening shot. I thought the opening shot of Lupita Nyong'o's character on the beach, and she goes into the fun house of mirrors. I thought that was a really, really good shot. And that blue tint, that dark blue tint image, I thought this movie has some promise. I thought maybe I'm in for a movie that's going to really surprise me and really, live up to what people are saying. I was hoping that would be the case, but unfortunately, that was not the case. I thought this movie was a big, big letdown. Did not like the characters. I thought Lupita Nyong'o did a good job acting, but everybody else around her, man, just seemed really goofy. Like Tim Heidecker, like why the fuck is he in this movie? And they're trying so hard to be like the obnoxious, uh, you know, wealthy family. And I'm just like, dude, like you have to let us draw that conclusion ourselves. Like you can't just keep pushing in my face. They're a wealthy, obnoxious family. They're a wealthy, obnoxious family. Like, I got it. I understood that. But like you dwelled on it for like it felt like 20 minutes. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, man, let's fucking move on from this. And maybe we can fucking maybe we can just be actually scared or terrified or something. Has a very weak twist ending and a very, very forced political message at the end that I like literally cringed at, wanted to, proverbial finger down my throat. It just made me want to throw up. I was like, this is ridiculous. Why did people like this movie? But people loved it. I don't know. I couldn't tell you why. I did not enjoy this film, and I would say it is worse than Get Out because I think Get Out at least lives up to some of its potential. Where this film, the opening shot, the rest of the movie is a big letdown for that opening shot. I think that opening shot was brilliant, and unfortunately, they just completely fucking shit the bed. That's my opinion, though. I did not like Us. That's Us coming in at number 6. Um, let's see. Okay. Devin Hurd. Us, I saw in theaters, thought it was not as good as Get Out. Yeah, I agree. I didn't think it was as good as Get Out either. I thought for sure Get Out was better. Us was decent to me, but it has a lot of problems. I hate how the ending is and how they explain the evil versions of themselves. It wasn't spectacular, but it had some good stuff. Yeah, it does have some good stuff. I don't know. I was very let down by it. I thought that opening scene would have been a good horror movie short. Like I didn't want to see anything else after that because the rest of the movie after that was just obnoxious, like blatant fucking messages in my face. And I was like, yo, I have a brain. Like I could fill these in for myself. You don't have to spoon feed me like I'm an idiot. And I don't know. I will say, if you watch some of the reviews of Us on YouTube, you will laugh your ass off. There's this one guy that he was so fucking angry about it. I forget his name, but oh my god, it was such a great review just because of how angry he got. Man, it was really cool. Oh man, I love Tom Savini. I hope Tom Savini directs anything. Like I love his Tales from the Dark Side episode, Night of the Living Dead, 1990. I mean, I think he's a really, really good underrated director. I think he gets his due as a makeup effect artist, but as a director, I feel like nobody really ever gives him that credit. But I love him. I think I would love to see him do Friday 13th Part 13 or any other horror film for that matter. I take him over Jordan Peele. I take him over Ty West. I take him over Eli Roth. I take him over half, if not more than any of the fucking people that are directing horror films today. It would be nice if yeah, I agree. Can you think of a mainstream horror movie where the incredibly hot, promiscuous cheerleader is the final girl? Always has to be a goody goody girl. Actually, just watched a movie called Unrest, and the girl kind of, and the final girl in it was kind of a whore. You don't see her like naked or anything like that, but you do see her like have sex, and you do see her like kind of hint that she's like sex and stuff like that. Like she's very promiscuous, and I thought it was really cool and it was very entertaining. So Unrest is one. She's not obviously not the cheerleader, girl, but hey, I would love that. I would love to see that horror movie where the slut survives and maybe the pothead, or maybe I know Cabin in the Woods did the pothead, but you could play with all these stereotypes. Maybe the jock and the slut survive, just to change things up. I always think it's good to change things up in horror films. I think it's always a good thing. And also Night of the 1990, yes, that's a great film. Totally love that movie. Do you think if it was shorter, it would fix problems? With Us, yes, I do think if it was shorter, it would have fixed some of the problems. But I think Jordan Peele, at the end of the day, man, he's just a political guy and he doesn't understand subtlety and he will force his message down your throat because he thinks he's smarter than us. And, coincidence, us, right? He thinks he's smarter than us. Um, I don't like that. I don't think that's cool. Like George Romero, people always say to me, "Oh, well, do you not like George Romero, he does a lot of political stuff." I'm like, yeah, but like he doesn't beat me over the fucking head with it. It's funny in Dawn of the Dead when you see the zombies walking the mall and the themes of consumerism. That's funny, and I can, draw that conclusion myself. And with Jordan Peele, it just seems like he wants to spell it out for you, hit me over the head with it, beat me over the head with it to the point where I'm just like, dude, like I'm not entertained by your film. 40 minutes have gone by and nothing has happened. So I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the way he, does his stuff. Gotta go. If you're still streaming, I'll be back later. All right, cool. Thanks for checking in, Devin. I appreciate it, man. Rock on. Have a great new year, or as I say, a happy dew year. Mountain Dew is my favorite drink. Okay, so we're gonna go into the top 5 here and a little Ari Aster flavor for you. Coming in at number 5 is Midsummer. Yes, I saw this movie in the theater this year too. Oh man. Oh man. Where do I fucking did not like this movie at all. I will say, okay, I didn't like Hereditary. So you might be asking, well, how was this disappointing? I saw the trailer to this and I thought the same thing as the Us trailer. I saw this trailer and I said, this is the movie that I want to see from this guy. Like a cult movie, looks very whitewashed, looks very atmospheric, tension filled. I'm in. I was like, this guy, I think he's going to redeem himself. I thought Ari Aster would say, I'm going to redeem myself and prove to the people that didn't like Hereditary that he was the next big thing in horror, right? He also said in an interview before this movie that this was his true first horror film because Hereditary, in his opinion, is a drama. I couldn't believe that. I thought that was very weird. But that is the way it is. With that being said, I gave this movie a chance. I went into this movie with high hopes, and I left the theater miserable. I thought this was worse than the fucking Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage. I thought that's a better cult film than this. I will say, okay, if any positives, I do think the look of the film is good, and I think Florence Pugh as the lead is great. I think she does, she gives a fantastic performance. In similar fashion to Toni Collette in Hereditary. Toni Collette was the best thing about Hereditary. Florence Pugh is the best thing about Midsummer. So you have two really good, strong lead actress performances, but they're surrounded and upon bullshit, man. That is what surrounds these movies, both of them. And I little spoiler, Hereditary is going to be higher on this list too. I think that's the problem with this filmmaker because he understands how to represent and introduce conflict for a lead character. In this movie, there's a little bit of the grief element because her family and sister die in the opening scene and it's her living on and moving on from it. But you have too long of a fucking film, and in between, you tell me. I know people that think the Friday 13th characters are unlikable. Are you fucking kidding me? Watch this movie. You have some fucking idiot with some fucking. All right, no offense to ginger people, I will preface by saying there's some fucking ginger motherfucker running around trying to get information for a thesis paper. Oh, I need to write a thesis on this. This is so cool. I'm gonna cheat on my girlfriend with the other ginger in the fucking cult. What the fuck? Like what? Like who casted that guy? He was horrible. And like, I never understood why he was together with the lead girl because he didn't even seem like he fucking was attracted to her. He was like, yeah, I'm with you, but I'm trying to bang this chick that never said a word to me, keeps giving me the eye in the cult. And there's a scene where they have sex and everyone's like, oh, it's disturbing. It wasn't fucking disturbing. It was shitty. Okay. It was fucking shitty. You had some shitty, girty motherfucker getting pushed into pelvic thrusts on this fucking girl because he ate a muffin with her pubes in it. And people think that's good. Are you fucking crazy? Watch something worth the shit. I can't understand why someone would think that was well done or scary. It was purposely fucking stupid. And people still, oh, I don't know, Grande. It was pretty fucking creepy. If that creeps you out, man, if that creeps you out, I don't know. I don't know. I respect it, but I don't know. That was the least of this movie's fucking problems, though. You have this dumbass character that decides, oh, I'm gonna piss on a tree out in the middle of the fucking cult, and everybody in this fucking cult gets mad at him. Oh, that tree, it's sacred. All of the souls go to that fucking tree. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, really? And like that character gets asked at one point, they're like, oh, can you come over here? He's like, sure. Never see him again. Never see the character again. Never see him again. You don't find out what happened to him. You don't know what happened to him. You don't care what happened to him. He was just a moron, you know? And everyone was like, oh, well, he's the comic relief. Didn't make me laugh once. Now, one fucking time did that character make me laugh. It was bullshit. Some of the shittiest characters I've ever seen in a film, man. Just terrible characters, terrible direction. Like people are like, "Oh, I got what you're trying to say. I got what he's trying to say with this film." What was he trying to say? I think it was just a huge fucking clusterfuck. And it's very pretentious. And like for me to think you're pretentious because I can watch any fucking art horror films, most art horror films and go, he is trying to do something different. I got that. This guy though, it just seemed for the fuck of it, he did it. Just a huge letdown, in my opinion, man. I did not like this film. I thought it was vastly fucking overrated. And at the end of the day, it's sad because I thought it had potential from the trailer. Like if you watched the first trailer, I thought potential. That was the first word that came to my brain. I said potential. This looks decent. Florence Pugh's a good actress. This is going to be sick. I thought this is going to be a good sophomore effort, and somehow he fucking decided to let me down almost as much as his first film, but not quite as much. So that is Midsommar. It definitely the movie that probably enraged me the most because I fucking got very angry at all the positive feedback that movie got. But I do know there are some people out there that didn't like it, so it is what it is. Of course, Jordan wants to put forth a political message. He's modern day liberal. Yes, he is. That's true. Never seen Midsommar either. Not worth it. Although I will say, going back to Nate's comment, Nate said that he did enjoy Hereditary. He did like Hereditary. Maybe he would like Midsommar. I don't know. I would love to see the Horror Boy review on that, though. That would be really cool. I like the lead guy, Jack Rayner, as an actor. I just don't think directors know how to use his talent. That could totally be. I just don't think they should have made him the obnoxious boyfriend that had no interest in his girlfriend whatsoever from the word go. Like they made it a point that he was not interested in being with her. And like he's like, "Oh, but I'm going to stay with her." I was just like, "You seem miserable." And it's not even you're not even pretending to be happy with her. There wasn't even a moment of, "Hey, I love you," like to even a BS "I love you." It was just the whole time it was just like, "Holy shit, why is this guy even here?" Like he went on this trip with her and like completely doesn't want to be there. I don't know, I just thought it was lame. The bees, mice, dude. That Wicker Man remake is actually better than this film, in my opinion. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Just don't think directors know. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got that one. Hey, speaking from me being a ginger, I've met some pretty stupid gingers. Yeah, I nothing against ginger people. I just the ginger in this movie pissed me off. So I was annoyed. Where the hell was Ron Weasley? Why the hell couldn't Ron Weasley play this role? I would have much preferred him. That would have can you imagine Ron Weasley fucking like in this role? Like, I'm blimey, Harry, I want to write my fucking thesis paper. Like with a broken wand and shit. I would have that would have been a much better movie than this. But all right, that is Midsommar. I didn't like that film at all, as you can tell. That brings me to number 4. This is probably the one that I think will get me the most hate. It's probably the most mainstream one on this list, but it's a movie that I thought let me down. And the more I think about it, the more I dislike it. Because when I first saw it, I thought, it's average. But the more and more I hear people praising it, the more and more I think less and less of it. So without further ado, coming at number 4, it is David Gordon Green's Halloween 2018. And this movie does belong on this list because the first word that comes to mind is truly disappointing. This is a disappointing fucking horror film, in my opinion. You got a really good, talented director. You got, you got Jamie Lee back. You've got some good actors around her. And for some fucking reason, this movie just crumbled, in my opinion. I don't understand why this movie turned out as poor as it did for me, but I didn't really enjoy the film. Um, I always bring this up first and foremost when I did the review of this. The number one thing that bugs me about Halloween 2018 is the off-screen kills. I believe there is a total. Somebody said told me. I'm not positive if it was this is the exact number, but if it's not, it's damn close. There are 10 off-screen kills in this film, and that's fucking unacceptable when you have the budget, when you have making a film today. There's no MPAA in your way anymore, and to have that many off-screen kills in a big franchise movie like this, absolute blasphemy, right? I thought that was really stupid. I really hate the direction they took Jamie Lee's character in. Like, they made her a fucking wacky drunk. That's what they made her in this movie, and everyone's like, oh, conflict, she's dealing with conflict. You know what movie she was better in dealing with conflict? H2O. That was a better film of someone dealing with the post-traumatic stress of a scary event that happened to them. That was much better. I thought that fucking Josh Hartnett was better as her fucking child. Not Judy Greer, who fucking sucked and didn't belong in this movie. And oh my god, there's some terrible scenes in this movie where she's bitching and bitching about her childhood. Oh, when I was a child, my mother, she prepared me for him and all this stuff. And you literally see flashbacks of an 8-year-old kid punching a punching bag and training like it's a fucking Rocky montage. And people fucking give this the pass? Really? Are you fucking kidding? That is the worst scene I saw in any movie this year, like by far. Like, it pissed me. I wanted to leave the theater when I saw that. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is the sympathy you're going for because the mother raised her to be tough? Like, I'm supposed to feel sympathetic for that? Are you joking me? Horrendous writing, horrendous. Whoever did whatever, the editor, whoever that is, that didn't cut that scene out of the movie should be fired on principle because it's a terrible fucking scene. Didn't get into any of the characters or any of the fucking directions they took this movie. The Sartain character was bullshit, completely uninteresting character in my opinion. And I know that he kind of just is there in the third act to set up the third act. And I thought that was really lame, really convenient writing and lazy writing at that. Really did not like that. Geez, what else? Everything pissed me off in this movie. I thought, okay, the point and message they were going for, I thought they tackled it well. I just personally was not a fan of what they were going for. I've come to that conclusion. Like, I've thought about it. They're basically at the end of the film trying to say that Michael is now the prey and she's the predator. That's basically what they're saying with the scene where they're fighting and she falls off the balcony and she hits down the fucking ground and then he looks and she's gone. That's them saying she's one step ahead of him now. And there's also the scene from the original where Michael backs up and she appears out of the corner. She's the shit. I got it. I got what you were going for. You hit me over the fucking head with it. And that wasn't why I didn't like it. I didn't like it because that's the convention of the genre. And I think they were going for a feminist statement, whereas the genre is already feminist. She beat him. She beat him in the original. She beat him in fucking 2. Danielle Harris beats him in the fucking sequels. Fucking, I don't understand where the disconnect is and where they think that horror films are misogynistic. They're always pro women, always pro the goody two shoes girl, and that's it. Like, they were always pro female in horror film. But to tell me that all 3 of these bitches survive, all fucking 3 of them, and fucking, I'm supposed to feel bad for Judy Greer. Fuck Judy Greer, okay? I didn't feel bad for you. I felt bad for Josh Hartnett, okay? And yeah, he's a guy and you're a girl. Ooh, am I sexist? No, I'm not sexist. I just have a brain. I fucking use it. I don't let these fucking pandering fucking filmmakers spell it out for me, okay? That movie, I don't like H2O as a whole, but they tackle the PTSD much fucking better than this movie. And I get it, people. Oh, the tracking shots of Michael, and it's creepy like the original film. You know what they do with these tracking shots? They don't show you the fucking kills. He walks into this fucking lady's house, grabs a hammer. I'm fucking stoked, right? I'm on the edge of my seat in the theater. You know what he does? He fucking walks into the kitchen and the camera stays there. We hear her scream. Oh, it's horrifying. Fuck you. That's not horrifying. That's bullshit. I got to see in Halloween 2. I got to see Mr. Garrett get cracked over the fucking head. I got to see in Friday the 13th Part 2, that fucking dumbass cop that comes into the woods, wham, gets a hammer to the back of the head. Why don't I get to see that here? Why don't I get to see that here? And the one kill I do get to see is a terrible CGI neck splurge where Michael bangs her head against the wall and stabs her in the. Oh, that's great. That's not great. Used CGI in a shitty way. And why the fuck would Michael Myers do this? Oh, I need to stun her. Fuck you. Horrible. Horrible. I get that they thought they were homaging the series. I get that people fucking loved it and creamed their jeans over it because that's what they do, because all this movie had to be to most people was better than the Rob Zombie films. If it wasn't Halloween 2 2009, they were going to give it the pass and cream in their jeans over it. That does not make a good film to me. It doesn't mean that that film isn't bullshit either. It is. I understand that it is. But you know what, man? I think this movie's fucking overrated, and I don't understand the love for it. And I'm not excited for Halloween Kills or Halloween Ends. Halloween should end. It should end after this because this movie's fucking bullshit, in my opinion. I didn't like the movie. I at first, when I first saw it, I gave it a very fair shake. I said I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 10, and it's the motherfuckers that keep telling me how great it is, how great it is. You know what? It's lowering my score because I'm sick of hearing how great an average movie is. It's below average now. You happy? I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. Not a fan of Halloween 2018. I almost feel like I should have put it higher because it kind of fucking annoyed me. So let's get into some of the comments here because I'm done ranting now. Halloween 2018 was yet another disappointing film. It's a dumb, fun slasher with pretty weak Halloween movie, and I'm not excited for the sequels. Neither am I. I didn't even have fun with it as a slasher. I wish it was a dumb slasher, but instead they just decided to bash all men because all men are rapey. And all men are creepy like that because that's it's a feminist movie. Fuck everybody. It was not. The other Halloween films are feminist too. Like I don't know, man. This boggles my mind. I didn't even like Halloween Water. What was so bad about putting a subtitle on a movie now if it's a sequel? Good question. I don't know. That's a very good question, though. Halloween's 1978 is my favorite of the Halloween franchise. What's yours? Halloween 2 is my favorite of the franchise, Movie Guide 2005. I love that film. I think it's the perfect sequel. I really think it is. In a lot of ways, it's the perfect end to the Michael Myers character, but at the same time, I really love Part 4. I think Part 4 is great, The Return of Michael Myers. I think the first 4 as a whole are perfect. Like, all 4 of them are perfect in their own way. And I'm a big mark for Part 2. I actually saw Part 2 first as a child. I still have the VHS to this day that I rented. I made sure when the Hollywood Video that I used to go to went out of business, I went there and bought the VHS because I was like, this is the reason I really got into slasher films. And I always thank the original Halloween 2 for that. I love that movie. I think it's very, very, very underrated as a sequel. And I think it's miles better than Halloween 2018. Just me, but that's my opinion. I agree. Halloween died with Donald Pleasence because Donald Pleasence was I don't know how to put this. He was really almost the anchor that held it all together. He kept that ship floating because, okay, we don't have Jamie Lee in part 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? We don't have Danielle Harris in 1, 2, 3, or 6. We don't have those two, awesome final girls, and I love them. I think they were great. But the one constant that you do have in the first 6 is well, I guess technically not in part 3, but you know what I mean? All the Michael Myers ones, you have Donald Pleasence. And Donald Pleasence, there's something about him that really, I think, puts Michael over the top. It's him telling us about Sam Hain. It's him telling us about the Lord of the Dead. And he looked at this wall. He looked past the wall to this night and the darkest eyes, the devil's eyes, all that stuff. That's history. That's film lore. That's fucking great stuff. And I agree, man. We have not had a great Halloween film without Donald Pleasence. Everything past part 6 to me is average to below average. Like, I really, honest to God, think that. And a lot of people hate 5 and 6, but I'll be honest, because of Donald, I like those movies. And I even the finale of 5, I love him because he just lost it at that point. Come home, Michael. Come home to where it all began. I love that. It's better than anything in this fucking new movie. But I don't like it. I don't like it. It's poorly directed. I agree, it's poorly directed, but fuck that shit, man. Donald Pleasence. I'll take Donald Pleasence and that barn scene over anything in Halloween 2018. Just me. But I agree. It totally died with Donald Pleasance. I lost where I was here. Oh shit. The 2 Halloween sequels are unneeded. Hell yeah, but they have to make their money. Movie Guy 2005. That's what they got to do because that's the heartless bastards that they are. Let's see. Either be like the original and don't show the kills, but have suspense or be gory. You can't do both. Halloween 2018. But yeah, like the original Halloween does show most of its kills. That's my thing. Like, there's one off-screen kill, the guy that he kills to get the clothes. Like, that's the only off-screen kill in the film. And like, I don't know, man. Like, I just thought like it was super. Why have such a big body count if you're gonna go with that style? I think someone told me that there's over 20 people killed in the movie. 10 of them are off screen. Are you fucking kidding? Why the fuck kill that many then? Like, why up the number if you're not gonna show me? Like, it makes no sense. Like, I don't know. I didn't understand that at all. Me Too movie. Oh, okay. I've skipped one. I like Donald Pleasance as Dr. Loomis. We all do. Yeah, absolutely. May he rest in peace. He's the reason that this franchise worked. I think it's okay to end franchises that have been going on for years now because there isn't anything more to add to the story. There really isn't anything more to add to Halloween. I 100% agree with you, brother. I really think there's nothing more to add. What more do you need to say? And to retcon everything to go, oh, now it's 40 years later and he's she's still over this one night where he killed 2 of her friends or 3 of her friends. Come on, man. Just you're grasping at straws. I got that you made your money and you got to make your feminist fucking point. I got it. And then Black Christmas Ensued this year tried to do the same thing and failed miserably. At the end of the day, you know why the movie made money, and it's Michael Myers. He will fucking always bring in the dough, just like Jason, just like Freddy. They'll always bring in the dough. Does not matter when, where, or how fucking stupid. It was a money-based decision, and they don't have anything to do with the story. That's the sad thing. Movie Guy 2005. Like, I'm disheartened over it too. Like, I don't want to see that anymore. Like, I just don't think it has a place anymore. And like, I don't know. I'm fully not interested in the sequels. I'll see the second one, but if it is anywhere near as this movie, I won't see part 3. That's what I did with Star Wars. I didn't like Force Awakens, gave The Last Jedi a chance. Did not like The Last Jedi. I'm done. I tapped out. I fucking tapped out after that. That was it. I'm done. I don't need to see part 9. I'm good. I love Halloween 2, 1981 as well. Dude, love it. I think it's an absolute masterpiece. Actually had the privilege to see it on 35 millimeter in October this year, and it was one of the coolest movie theater experiences I ever had. The film print was pristine, man. Universal Studios, some of their movies on Blu-ray look amazing, but seeing the 35 millimeter print was breathtaking, man. It was incredible. I love that movie. Held by a Peanut Bar, dude. Oh my god, the writing in that movie was terrible too. Yes, he was the Van Helsing to Michael Myers, and that's why we are all afraid of Michael Myers. Like, as much as we love Jamie Lee, as much as we love Danielle Harris, they don't establish Michael. They establish themselves. Donald Pleasance establishes Michael. That's what people don't fucking get. But it is what it is, man. You get it. I'm glad I'm not alone. There's a guy who I think should have played the son of Dr. Loomis. His name is Eric Avari, or maybe Bob Hoskins. I would have been cool with that. I would have been anybody but Dr. Sartain, man. Anybody. Star Wars is the same way the story needs to end. Dude, I felt that way after. I think Return of the Jedi is the ending. To me, that'll forever be the ending. I'm cool. I like the prequels. I know I'm in the minority. I think Return of the Jedi forever is the ending of that series because it's the perfect ending. Those great characters all huddled around the fucking campfire and the Ewoks and the music and all smiles, fucking cut to credits. That is how Star Wars ended. I don't give a fuck that Luke Skywalker went to a fucking deserted planet and is drinking titty milk now. Don't care. Don't care to see it. And I will never, ever in my life fucking acknowledge those 3 movies because I think they all suck. Even though granted, I have not seen part 9, so I can't say part 9 sucks, but I'd be willing to bet I wouldn't like it. I really don't think I would. It is stupid to retcon. Yeah, I don't like retconning sequels either. I agree too, honestly. Dude, 100%. I'm tapped out of it. If people like it, that's cool. If the new generation likes it, that is fine. But I'm good with the first 6 Star Wars films. I'm cool with the original saga. That's just me. All right, so let's move on back into this list. Coming at number three, another controversial one, but aren't they all, right? This one, this one is one of those movies that I thought had a great concept and it was poorly fucking executed. I said it the day I saw it. 5 years later, I still feel the same way. It is Jennifer Kent's The Babadook. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. This one frustrates me because I thought this could have been a masterpiece. I thought this could have been a really good movie. And I will say that I think this movie does tackle the themes of grief a lot better than Midsummer did, which I think that is what Midsummer was going for. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you disagree, please tell me, because I didn't care to understand Midsummer after I walked out of it. I was like, yo, I wish I had my money back. That's kind of the first thought I had leaving Midsummer. But the Babadook was interesting because I heard a lot of buzz around it, a lot of buzz around the internet about this film, and I was like, all right, man, the Babadook, let's check it out. Sounds cool, sounds original. It's Australian. Essie Davis is an awesome actress. Let's fucking get this, man. Another one I rented VOD. I remember it was a late. I got off work late one night and I was like ready to watch it. I got a bunch of snacks, everything. I put it on, and I forget how long the film is, but however many minutes later, I kind of threw my arms up. I was like, "That's it. That's the best horror movie of the year. Really? That movie?" Um, I will say though, I do think the movie had promise. I think Essie Davis does a good job acting. I think the concept is really, really, really good. However, I think in between there, man, you just have so much bullshit. That kid was so fucking annoying, man. There's nobody that could tell me that kid was likable. Like that kid, he makes the kid in Halloween 5, the kid that's friend in the pirate costume, the fucking kid with Jamie, he makes that kid likable. Like this kid was so unlikable, crying and screaming, and there's a point where she says something to him like, "I wish you were dead" or something, and I was like, "Yo, I honestly do too." Like, and I shouldn't feel that way. Well, that's how it made me feel. You have a lot of attempts of making a film, the film creepy, atmospheric, and she completely, as a director, I thought she just fucking missed, man. I thought she completely missed with what she was trying to go for. I got the point of the movie, so nobody tell me, oh, you didn't get it. Like I got it. The point of the movie is you have to learn to live with grief, and she lost her husband, and the Babadook is living with grief. It lives in their basement. She's feeding it at the end, and she hugs her son. We have to live with the grief. I got it. All right. Don't tell me I didn't fucking get it. But there's so much bullshit in between, man. So much. To the point where I'm just like, why do people like this movie? It's not scary. It's not fucking well written. It's not. I think the movie it's a little too bleak at times. Like, and it boggles my mind why it's so bleak. Because this is a movie where I would have executed colors, because you have a children's book, But like, I guess she was maybe going for the darker tone. I don't know. I just like, it's funny because I saw talent there from her as a director, but I think at the same time she just didn't tackle it the way I would have, maybe, or how I think it would have been good. This is my honest to God opinion, and I said this very recently after I saw it too. Wes Craven, give this movie to Wes Craven, would have been a masterpiece. Would have been unbelievable. May he rest in peace. I know he was very ill, or he may have even passed by this time. I forget, but it was very close together. This movie and him passing away. But I think if you gave this concept to a Wes Craven, he would have took the ball and fucking ran with it to the point where we would have never seen him again. That's how good I think he would have taken this concept in this movie. Because number one, he would not have made that kid fucking annoying. Number two, he would have made the movie, I think, look a lot better. I don't know. I thought Wes Craven would have done a lot better job with this. I know Jennifer Kent has gone on to do The Nightingale, which I've not seen. I've heard nothing but good about it. I'm glad, man. I do think there was some potential there for her. I just thought that she didn't really do it the way that I think it could have been done better, or should have been done. Or I don't. This one might be more me. This one might be more my own. Like, I would have preferred something other than what she did. So in honesty, I don't. Maybe I have it a little too high in this list, but I think it was the hype and everybody telling me, you're gonna love this, you're gonna love this, you're gonna love this. And when I saw it and I felt it was very beyond mediocre, I thought, man, this is disappointing. I don't know. Maybe this is one of those ones that I got too hyped for, and uh, maybe it isn't that bad. Like I'll be honest, like these movies, I'm not going in order of how good or bad they are. I'm kind of going in order of like how much they disappointed me. And this one honestly did. Like when I turned it off, I was like, man, I kind of wish I hadn't spent the money on that. Like I kind of regretted it. And I've never had the desire to revisit the movie. I kind of thought it was a little bit overrated. So the Babadook at number 3. That's that. I didn't, wasn't that big of a fan of it. Oh, hold on, I skipped one. I hope that Part 13 does not retcon any of the sequels for Friday the 13th. I hope not either, but I don't trust Hollywood. I think that's exactly what they'll do. Babadook is decent, but once again, another film that got way too much praise. 100% agree. Like they go too fucking crazy about it. And like I said, like I will give the film credit. It does some things right. I just don't think it's fully potential. It fully captures its potential, but you see the potential there. So that's why it frustrates me, if that makes any sense. It's actually probably one of the better movies on this list, but it's just so many people fucking love it that I'm just kind of like, would you shut up? Like I'll be I'll be kind of for it, When I saw the Babadook, I was laughing so hard I almost peed my pants. I'm glad you got enjoyment out of it in any way. I didn't get enjoyment out of the film. I wanted to turn it off pretty much after an hour in. I was like, I want this to end. And I felt it was such a drawn out finale, man. Not a fan of the Babadook. Do not like the film. So that brings me to number 2, ladies and gentlemen. And I know you all see that no one's going to see number 1 coming because it's a movie that I don't even know if I doubt like that many people have seen it, the number 1 film, but this one is definitely going to be the one that most people have seen. And without further ado, it is the other Ari Aster film. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is 2018's Hereditary. Holy fucking shit. I don't like this movie in any way, shape, or form. This was another scenario where I saw the trailer and I thought, man, this looks pretty cool. I saw the miniatures and I like Toni Collette as an actress. I thought it looked like it was going to be creepy, atmospheric. It looked like it had its own originality factor to it. I was really excited. I wanted to see this movie in the theater. I fucking saw it in the theater, I think the second night it opened. So I was really excited for this because I like A24 stuff. Like I liked The Witch a lot. I liked The Lighthouse a lot. I like A24 as a whole. I think they're a really cool company. So I thought this movie would be no exception. And the only thing I didn't know was the director, Ari Aster. He had never directed anything at this point. So I was like, all right, first time director, let's, writer director, let's see what he's got. Honestly, man, I didn't think he had much to show or offer. I thought the movie was, again, overly fucking pretentious. I did not care about any of the characters. I do think Toni Collette does a good job, but again, just the same problem as Midsommar. The movie around her is filled with shit upon shit. And like that's a problem for me because in both these movies you have an awesome lead actress, but the movie around them kind of crumble because they're just so messy. Like this movie, for example, from where it starts to where it ends, it's batshit to the point where it's unlikable. It's like, this is too fucking far-fetched for me. That's personally for me. Like, I won't ruin or spoil the film. I know there are some people that haven't seen it or whatever. But to me, man, this movie is just a huge disappointment, a huge letdown in so many facets of the word. Like, I'm not feeling anything of it. I don't feel the story. I don't feel the characters' decisions or motivations. That little girl and the noise she keeps making with her tongue, the whole like that wasn't creepy, man. That was stupid. And in the theater I was in, people were laughing at it, thought it was stupid. And then I hear people saying that's the most horrifying sound I've ever heard. Are you fucking crazy? Really? Like you must be easily fucking scared of shit, man. Like, I don't get that. Like, what was scary about that? I don't know. I thought it was more mind-boggling and frustrating as opposed to fucking scary, but that's just me. I thought the brother actor in the film was terrible. He was an absolute fucking bitch. I thought the husband in the movie was a bitch. I thought everybody was a bitch pretty much. Like, I didn't there was and it was very much drawn out too. Like towards the end of the movie, I'm just like, are you fucking kidding? Like we keep going with this? Like they just keep escalating and going up the ladder to the point where I was just like, I'm jumping off this train. Like it had promise. See, what I think could have been saved this movie personally. Like when I saw the trailer and the opening few shots of the film are of the miniatures that Tony Collette has, right? And they go through room after room after room. Um, I thought the symbolism there and what you could have done with those sets and the story of the film and connecting the two together at this, it could have been artsy, but at the same time it could have meant something. You could have said so much more. And I feel like this movie doesn't say what it needs to say. I feel like it kind of just crashes and burns where it is. Like I think it has potential again, but I don't think he really had the right direction, man. I didn't like where he took the story. I didn't like where he took the characters. And I felt the film was overly long and boring at times. And I didn't say that about hardly any of these movies that I say they were boring. This is a boring film overall, considering all the hype and stuff that it got. I love Tony Collette's performance. I said that before, but overall, man, I think Hereditary is one of the most overrated horror films of the decade. Did not like it in any way, shape, or form. To the people that do like it, I've heard their arguments. I've heard their reasonings, and I respect that. But I just, at the end of the day, I don't know. This just wasn't my cup of tea. Like I saw the movie Raw, come out, and I thought that was a much better done movie for what it was trying to do. And it does escalate and it does become a little batshit, but it doesn't go too far to the point where it's really like it doesn't make you go really like that. Like it kind of gets to the highest degree, and bam, that movie ends. Like that movie did it much better. Um, I don't know. Maybe I'd have to revisit this one. I know people fucking love it. My good buddy Nate did a great review. The Horror Boy, who's still in the chat, I appreciate that. Thank you, man. The best review of that movie is his review of it. I swear to you, like Scout's honor, that is the best review of this movie. Is Nate's review of it because he's not a fucking mark. Nate actually dissected it, piece by piece. He's a lot better than my review of it because I didn't even review it. I'm talking about it here, but I just fucking outwardly blast the film. He actually really looked at it and I think gave a lot of good constructive criticism and some praise where praise was due. So definitely check that review out. That's a really, really good movie review. Getting to the comments again. I should specify laughing in not in a good way, like wow, this is not even so bad. It's good. Yeah, it isn't. It's just so bad. It's bad, in my opinion. Did you know John Wayne's grandson Brandon Wayne is the guy in the Mandalorian suit? I did not know that. I've not watched the Mandalorian, but I've heard nothing but good, and I love Jon Favreau who created that series, so I will definitely try to check that out. The Horror Boy, I really enjoyed how crazy it was, but it had some problems. It was kind of like The Shining. That's why I really loved it, but I'm not going to say it's the best movie ever made like everyone else. Yeah, that's why I value your opinion, Nate, because you're not a fucking mark and you actually use your brain, unlike most of these people that just they heard it was a great horror movie, so they just automatically, kind of agree with it walking out of the theater. I don't get that personally. Like if I think it's great, I think it's great. Like It Follows, I saw it, didn't hear any hype or praise or anything before I saw it. I saw it, thought it was great. And then I heard all the praise and was like, hey, I actually agree with these people, Like, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes people don't use their brain as much as, Nate, a person like Nate does. Nate is, uses the old noggin. I do have one honorable mention before I get into the number one choice here. It is Ma from this year, actually, 2019. It's another movie where, again, you have a great lead actress performance, but the movie kind of crumbles around her. The only thing I will say that I like better about this movie as opposed to the other two is it is clear with its message and its point, and it's not too far fetched. Where it's mostly about bullying and Octavia Spencer and what she went through as a child. So you do feel sympathetic for her character, even though she does some crazy shit towards the end. I think the biggest problem with Ma as a whole is it never kicks it into the second gear. It never kicked it into I'm killing motherfuckers now. Like there's maybe 1, 2 death scenes in the film, and I think one of them is off screen. So, it's kind of a letdown in that department. I almost wish that Blumhouse hadn't made it. And I almost wish that Tate Taylor, who's a good filmmaker, I wish they had gotten a different director with Octavia Spencer and maybe done a different, like a rewrite, like to expand her character a little bit more. And I would think make the movie a little bit more hardcore. I had tremendous problems with that movie, but I think as a whole, Octavia Spencer's performance is, I think it's the best of the year. I think her performance in that movie is the best of the year. It's just sad because the movie around her, like Midsummer and Hereditary, is just not as good as her. But I can give that movie a little bit more of the pass because I had more fun with it. It was more entertaining, and I think it had more of a direction than the other two, in my opinion. All right. So coming in at number one, the worst, well, not the worst. I keep forgetting. The most disappointing, I should say, to me, the most disappointing horror film I saw this entire decade is a little movie. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it or anybody watching has seen this movie. I know very few have seen it, but to me, when I think of disappointing, this is the one that first comes to mind because if you see the trailer to this movie, you will be like, yo, this movie looks great. And I was one of those people, unfortunately. It is Mickey Keating's Darling from 2000. Some say 2014, 2015. I thought it was late 2014. But yeah, so 2014, we'll say. Darling, man. Uh, oh boy. Oh boy. I saw the trailer for this movie. I'm a big independent horror movie film fan. I usually like the independent market scene, try to see what's going on. And Mickey Keating had made some pretty below average films to this point. Saw the trailer of this movie though, and I was like, I want to see this, man. Like Darling, man. It looked pretty cool. It basically tells the story of this woman who she has to house sit for a while. And she basically starts encountering some creepy shit. It looked like The Shining with a woman, but instead of a hotel, it was like an apartment, right? I actually drove like 2 hours to see this movie in a theater. Um, a really shitty neighborhood. I won't say where, but it was a really bad neighborhood, and I went alone. Like I was kind of afraid for my life, but I was like, yo, anything for my dedication. Anybody ever asks or doubts my dedication to the genre? I drove 2 hours to see this fucking movie just because I wanted to experience it in the theater, right? Oh man, this movie is so disappointing because it is the classic case of style over substance. And like, I don't have a problem with artsy fartsy horror films, like I really don't. But this one, man, this one just had no fucking oomph to it. It was so unlife and like just lifeless film, man, overall. The lead actress, I thought she'd give a great performance. She's really not that great. She kind of doesn't have to do much. A lot of it is just her sitting there like this and her fucking no selling everything and very, very little dialogue. And the brutality of the film is very cut to the point where I'm like, I feel like you shot it, but you just decided to fucking imply it. Whereas, why would you show me what you showed me and then not show me that? Like it boggled my mind. Um, I thought the direction of the story was very weak. I thought characters were really weak, and I thought there were scenes in the movie that linger, and it's a short film. It's barely 80 minutes long, if it's 80 minutes long. I don't know the exact runtime, but it's a short film, and like it honestly feels a bit tedious at times, which it blew my mind because I'm thinking, this movie looks really badass. And I will say, whoever made that trailer is the star of the show because he made that movie look a lot better than it was. And I remember walking out of the theater being very disappointed. I said this was a movie I wanted to get behind. I wanted to get behind a young filmmaker like Mickey Keating, but unfortunately, man, I couldn't get behind it. I thought it was a really, really big letdown. If anyone's seen it, I don't see any comments moving, so I don't know if anyone's seen this one. But if you have seen Darling, please let me know if you liked it. I've heard quite a few people tell me they like it. And that just blows my mind. I showed it to my good buddy Ryan, and he fucking hated it. So I was like, okay, at least I'm not alone. But yeah, I think it was disappointing because I think you had a good look to the film. The film is shot in black and white, looks really good, but you ultimately had all the potential in the world wasted. And I think that's why I put this at the number one spot because you had a director that had a lot of stuff given to him, dropped it. You had a lead actress that had a lot of stuff given to her, dropped it. Like, I feel like this is a class example of someone who was given the ball and dropped it and stepped on it and popped it and kicked it out of bounds. Like, it's just such a disappointing horror movie to me. And I remember driving home, the 2 hour drive home. So it's 4 hours total driving just to see this movie, to see an 80-minute movie. And I remember just being like, man, like, is there hope left for the genre? Like, I just remember being really disheartened because I saw this around the time I saw the Babadook, and I remember both of them being very disappointing. Thankfully, The Witch and It Follows, movies like that, kind of gave me more hope for the genre. And I don't know, man. Overall, this movie for me just was a real disappointing flick, and it's I think it's well deserving of the number one spot on this list because even Hereditary, has a great lead actress performance. Even The Babadook has a great concept that I think was executed just not to perfection. All these movies have something going for them, whereas this movie, I feel like you had everything there and just dropped it all. That's why I think it's so disappointing. Yes, that is Darling. From I think it's might have been 2015. I don't remember. It's 2014 or 15. I don't remember the damn year. But yeah, that was definitely my number one pick of the list. And yeah, man, this was a fun video to do. I had a lot of fun. Going about an hour and 20 minutes. So just about as long as I usually like these things to go. I wanted to wish everybody that tuned in. Devin, Movie Guy, the Horror Boy, Ty Junebug. I appreciate y'all watching. I really do. It was fun to have you on here and discuss some of these movies. And thank you for all being kind and respectful. Obviously, I appreciate that because you guys easily could have been like, Halloween 2018 is great. Fuck you. Like you could have easily done that, or Hereditary or Midsummer, defending these movies. I appreciate that, uh, we all kept it cool on here. I appreciate it. But yeah, man, I hope everybody has a great, happy new year, happy new decade, 2020. The decade in horror that waits for us. I'm, you know, I don't know if I'm very excited for 2020 because it seems like Halloween Kills and Candyman Remake are the two movies right now that are giving the biggest buzz, and I don't have interest in either really, because that Candyman is going to be all about race with Jordan Peele fucking doing it, and that's not the original Candyman was more about an urban legend as opposed to the origin story. And I think that's why that movie works. And Virginia Madsen and Tony Todd, you can't recreate those two characters. So I don't know. I'm not too interested. Obviously, honestly, the first Candyman is worth the shit. So I'm not really interested in that. And then Halloween Kills. Well, you heard my thoughts on Halloween 2018. Yeah, man. So everybody, thank you for watching. Happy New Year's. Hope it's all healthy. Hope it's all Gucci. Have a great, safe night. And thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it, guys. Peace. Too sweet. And we will catch you in the new year, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out.